Well, I'm back in Universe Sector 0057 Alpha. This time apparently there's a wide going on convention about green technology, alternative transport and the like. The Observer High Committee has sent me here to monitor the situation and see how the alternative transfer is going on and see whether or not humanity in this timeline is bumping from a Type 0 to a Type 1 civilization. Well, let's see how this works out, shall we? Okay, so I'm here with Joseph Patillier for Communities for Climate. So tell me, what is your organization about, and what are you guys what are you doing? I hear that you were biking across Canada for something.
Yeah, so I'm actually unicycling 5,000 kilometers from Victoria, BC to Ottawa to call for action on climate change and really try and make it a wedge issue in the 2015 election, which is coming up pretty quick.
Oh, okay. So just out of curiosity, what sort of things have been going on that have been causing impediment on what sort of issues have been impeding the stopping of or the stopping or reversal of climate change in Canada, do you think?
I mean, there's a lot of denial that's going on, and I think kind of deliberate element of deceit that is mostly driven by big oil corporations. And people really, unfortunately, are not getting the message that it's a dire issue and it's not just an environmental issue anymore. And you know, that's just sort of triggering a chain reaction of reluctance to embrace renewable energy and sustainable technologies.
From the perspective that a Type 0 civilization is one that relies entirely on fossil fuels, and a Type 1 is a civilization that is globally connected and harnesses all natural systems on the planet, including diluted solar power, wind power, and geothermal power, how close do you think humanity is from moving from a Type 0 to a Type 1 civilization? And do you think it's possible within the next few decades?
I definitely like to think it's possible. How close it is, you know, in time, or
do you think that the political will is starting to build up now that there might be a shift towards alternative energy in the next decade or two?
The political will is building. You know, I'm really hopeful that the next generation is embracing the idea that we need to move urgently to renewable energy. Unfortunately, it's just in our current leadership right now in government, we're not seeing that reflected at all in the political system. And that's sort of my concern why it's not happening right now.
Okay, one final quick question. Where can people find out more about your unicycling project and support you?
Yeah, there's tons of info on unityfortheclimate.ca. There's all kinds of social media on there, event listings, the full route, and everything else. So that's definitely the best resource.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thanks so much.
Okay, so I'm here with
Hi, Cameron Murdoch.
Cameron Murdoch with Home Energy Solutions. So, just out of curiosity, what sort of products are you putting on the market right now, and how are they helping, develop a greener environment?
Today we're talking about solar energy, solar electricity for homes, and we're talking about offsetting electric vehicles. The panels we're talking about here is the 250-watt panel. It's made by Hanwha Solar. About 8 of these are going to would offset an electric vehicle for about 16,000 kilometers a year.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, in terms of powering a house with one of these, or the group of these, would it be possible to offset someone's say draw from BC Hydro with these guys by substantially?
Absolutely. So that's
naturalstatic.ca to learn more about the MBA sustainability.
Yeah. Okay. So you were saying,
as offsets go, you're looking. These are 250-watt panels.
Okay.
So about 4 of them will give you 1,000 watts, which is about 10% of a standard home's electricity.
Okay.
So if you had 140 of these panels on a south-facing roof, you could offset your house completely.
Interesting.
Typical Canadian
all right.
loads.
Just out of curiosity, in the event that someone, in the unlikely event, had enough space to be able to not only go off the grid, but to be able to generate extra power, have any of your customers been able to sell back their power to BC Hydro as a result?
Actually, BC Hydro has one of the best net metering systems in Canada. As far as the implementation and the acceptance of the program.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Okay, so I'm here with Terry from Fairfield Cycle. So tell us a little bit about some of the bikes that you currently have in stock. Well, before I go there, first things first, how long have you guys been involved in bicycle selling and repair for?
About 20 years.
Just out of curiosity, what inspired you guys to get into that, or what drives you guys for this kind of business?
I think the lifestyle. We really love bikes. alternative ways of transport that don't require gas is probably one of the main driving forces for a lot of the guys that work there.
Okay, so just out of curiosity, tell me a bit about some of the bikes that you guys have in, particularly the power assist bicycles, because since everything seems to be electric these days, how do you find people? How efficient is the technology? How far can it get you? And how do you find people's reactions are to this kind of technology, specifically the power
It's
assist?
getting better as far as the technology goes. So you can expect 120 kilometers at best in terms of distance on say a Bionics motor kit that we sell. You can get them as bikes. You can get them as kits if you have an existing bike to put them onto. Every year they're getting better. They're adding features. They're making them more robust, easier to function, and easier to maintain.
Okay, so hang on, I'm just going to grab a shot of the Bionics kit here. So just out of curiosity, with a bike like this, where does the motor attach and where do the batteries attach?
Well, the motor is always in the rear wheel.
Okay.
And that's size specific to the bike.
Okay.
So in this case, it's a 26-inch wheel, 26-inch motor.
Okay.
The batteries come in two different formats. You can get the rack-mounted battery, or you can get a battery that's shaped like a teardrop that fits sort of on the front part of the frame if you have a traditional diamond-sized bike.
Oh, okay. So finally, just out of curiosity, with regard to cost, etc., what do you find bikes are generally going for these days? Like, how affordable are they as an alternative transport source?
Well, bikes from our store traditionally started at about $500. We're finding that some people do require a bike that's less than that price, so we're trying to find solutions that are going to be a $300 or $400 option.
Okay. Final question. With regards to the type of changes that we're seeing in our society, both with in terms of greater, I'm wondering if there are greater numbers of people coming through your door for cycling. Say there were say 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. And from that, I'm also wondering, do you think the political will is there for at least for Canada to start shifting from a more fossil fuel-based society to a much more alternative energy-based society? I mean, from your perspective.
I would like to think that there is potential for that, but the economics of today are really kind of pushing more for fossil fuels and alternative transport. I think this is a start. What we have here is the start, and then as people start to understand that it's a lot easier to hop on an electric bike or have a hybrid vehicle, that's kind of where it starts from, so we're lucky to be at the forefront of that.
Okay, one final quick question. Where can people find out more about Fairfield Bicycle? Like, so in case they want to buy a bike from you or what have you,
you can find us online at fairfieldbicycleshop.ca. We're on Facebook. We have Instagram set up, so we'll give updated pictures almost on a day-to-day basis. And you can come down to our store. We're at 390 Moss Street, Victoria.
All right, well, thanks again for your time. So I'm here with so here with Ian, and so just out of curiosity, you said you owned like one of the very first electric motorbikes out there, or like electric pure motorcycles. Tell me a bit about it and why you like this thing.
I like it because it's fun to ride. Number one.
Okay.
It's cheap to ride, cheap to operate. It looks like stink.
So what are some of the stats on this bad boy?
Top end's 153 kilometers an hour.
What's the range?
About 70 miles on a highway. 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds.
Sweet. And is there how cheap is she to charge?
25 cents.
Oh, sweet. As in what? You just plug her into any wall outlet or something? Or?
Yeah, that's all I do. Plug it into a 110 and let her go.
Sweet. How long does she take to charge normally?
About 6 hours if it's dead empty.
All right, cool. Well, thanks again. Who's testing out the Tesla. Just out of curiosity, what do you think of it, and what are the features that really stand out to you to make this the pinnacle of electric car technology?
Frankly, force. First of all, it's got 3 times the range of any other electric car on the market. Secondly, the car's onboard computer is the most sophisticated I've ever seen, by at least an order of magnitude. Features, I could describe them, but it would take an hour.
All right.
Morgan, need me set?
All right. Thanks again for your input. Would you buy this car if you could?
If I could afford it, it would be a no-brainer. It would be yes, yes, yes.
All right.
Squared, doubled, and on Fusion.
Well, thanks again for your time.
plug-in hybrid, but unlike other hybrids, the gas engine does not connect to the wheels. It connects to a generator, which tops up the battery as needed. Result, most of the time, this thing behaves like an electric car. Now we'll look at it from all angles.
Yeah, we're still recording, so yeah, we're good.
Now we're going to go for a test drive. Excuse me? I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Fred.
Fred. This is Fred from the Will Wheaton dealership. He's hosting me for this test drive of the Chevy Bolt.
Hope you're okay with being in the shot there, bud.
What's that?
I said I hope you're okay with being in the shot. Sweet, all right. Let's see how this puppy rolls. And she's off. Okay, recording now.
Okay, this is the Nissan Leaf. It's a 100% electric, made in Japan, and I'm going for a ride with one of the members of the Victoria Leaf Owners Club.
All right, let's see what this puppy can do. And they're off. Let's see how this guy takes. No.
to have a quick ride?
So now I'm inside the first-person perspective of a Nissan Leaf. Let's see how this turns out.
It asks you to put seatbelt on.
Oh, it's asking me to put my seatbelt on? Okay. That's the weird thing about this. You always forget to put your seatbelt on these days.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. There we go. Now let's give this guy a quick look and see what we're looking at here. So what's this guy down here? There's a screen down here of some description.
There's a screen now that shows the energy usage right now.
Okay.
That's the main motor. So when I push the pedal, it starts to put the kilowatts. Then when I put the brake, it regenerates actually when it goes below zero.
Oh, sweet.
So that's the consumption.
Yeah.
And then I take my foot off the pedal, and it goes to regeneration.
Oh, sweet.
You can see when I took my foot off, it goes about 10 kilowatt negative.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
Or positive. And then there's climate control. If I turn that on, it suddenly starts to put climate control energy there.
Oh,
actually,
cool.
Actually not much now because the temperature is pretty good.
Yeah.
And this is the other systems, electronics, etc., etc.
Oh, okay, cool.
Consumption.
So it looks definitely like a very interesting perspective.
And
let's see what this car drives like from the front perspective. Oh yeah, now we're kicking in the juice.
The electric car, the electric motor, of course, has a very high torque at the zero speed.
Oh, sweet.
Because that's the highest torque. Electric motor has highest torque at the zero speed.
Which means that actually it would be probably accelerating faster than even a Ferrari in some cases.
No, not like that. But it's certainly in the normal traffic lights. It's a very good car for city driving because it's very good at stop and go.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, like I said, I see what you mean. Yeah, so at least, so at the very least, for city driving, you can always be able to beat the light with it.
Yeah,
at least most of the time.
easily. It's
Sweet.
got as much 15 kilowatts regeneration. See, the experience may well be that you never need to change the brake pads.
Oh.
Because the regeneration, most of the braking is electric, and only the last little bit, when you're less than 10 kilometers per hour, you do engage the mechanical brakes.
Oh, okay.
Unless you do an emergency brake, then your mechanical comes sooner.
Okay. What about the brake pads? Are they still having to be renewed, or?
Probably never in the lifetime of the car.
Oh.
Because it's mechanical.
Okay.
This is electric. Regeneration is electric.
Oh, okay.
It's not mechanical.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be looking forward to doing a bit more coverage on this later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, like I see what you mean. Like this is it's a nice ride. It's really smooth.
Here's now, if you look at the panel again, it shows 8.4 kilometers per kilowatt hour. That makes it cost about less than 1.5 cents per kilometer, the electricity that it consumes, which is about 1/10 of what my previous car consumed.
Sweet.
Yeah. That shows the momentary. If I push the pedal, it goes right there.
Oh.
But then 10 kilometers per kilowatt hour is there.
Oh, sweet.
And now when I brake, it stays up there. And when I... Oops, there's something in my trunk there.
That's all right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like this is... Yeah, like actually, that's rather impressive for a for energy efficiency for a car.
Very. It was a big surprise, positive surprise to me. This has been many ways actually positive surprise.
Huh.
The other thing that people don't come to think about is that oil burning engines and gearboxes are very complex mechanical devices.
Yeah.
And their maintenance is very high.
Whereas
this one has virtually zero maintenance. Once a year, they check the battery and they rotate the wheels, tires, that is.
Cool.
And it's as quiet as it can be, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not like that classic rev you hear with virtually every internal combustion engine.
Yes. And the other thing, of course, you don't create any toxic air.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's no tailpipe at all.
So just out of curiosity, with this guy, is there like a gas generator and something inside there that when the battery gets low enough, it cuts in?
No, it's 100% electric.
Interesting.
And well, the first couple of months, I think I would say, people call it range anxiety.
Yeah.
That you worry about running out of power.
Yeah.
Never happened, not even close. But if you then get there close to that, Nissan actually, you just call Nissan and they come and help. They actually come and charge your battery so you can get to closest charging station.
Ah.
So Nissan has guaranteed that fully.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. But I mean, nobody wants to get there, and I don't know anybody who's gotten there that low.
Yeah. So with that 107 kilometers on the dashboard signal there,
that's a range at the
Yeah.
rate that we're going.
which so basically, in other words, that's about 107 kilometers left until battery drain.
Yes.
Until battery drain.
Yeah, still it's nominally zero.
Cool. I'm just whoops. Trying to keep this camera stabilized on a platform is a little difficult from time to time, but
it's not so easy.
hey, what can you do, right? Yeah.
We can drive from here to Nanaimo on one charge.
Of course, you probably have to recharge to come back, but
Yes, of course. But this is fast charger in Nanaimo actually.
oh, cool.
So fast charger means that you can charge it in 20 minutes to 80%.
Cool. And I take it a normal charge would take like what, 5-6 hours?
Yes, that's about right. But
Okay.
But I never had a situation where even on a regular wall outlet of home, I could charge overnight to full. When I plug it in the evening, it's been always full in the morning.
So if need be, you just spend the night somewhere, recharge, and you're good to go the next morning.
When we go to a hotel, someplace we can plug into regular wall outlet, and we never failed to find one actually. We never paid a penny of the electricity outside our home.
Interesting. Yeah, well,
We've been to Washington State and we've been up island, so it does work very well actually.
oh, good to hear. So, just out of curiosity, with all the fact that these, with the fact that these electric cars are impressive as they are, and they're finally starting to hit the market, do you think that somebody will probably start trying to find a way to lock power outlets, or for a wall outlet, or start charging, or like people have to start charging extra for charging cars this way?
I think there must be standards developed how to do these things. But think about it: if it charges on regular wall outlet, it's about 1 kilowatt hour per hour, which is 10 cents every hour.
Oh, sweet. So either way, it'll only be a couple bucks.
It's so cheap that it's very difficult to justify installing systems that prevent that.
You're right. I mean, either way, it'll still be cheaper than gas.
Oh, it's way, way, way cheaper. Even that's right. Exactly right.
All right.
And when we went to Washington State, we went to Anacortes to AeroVironment charging station, and that is 20 minutes to 80%.
Cool.
So that means that we can pretty quickly continue to drive. 20 minutes we go for coffee break, and then we continue driving to Seattle.
Sweet. And we're arriving now back in the station dock for this thing to get a recharge, presumably, or?
No, there's still got rain. I mean,
Oh, yeah, of course,
why would
yeah.
I recharge it?
Good point. Anyway, I'll cut it here for now.
So,
yeah, what were your thoughts on this particular test drive?
well, this is basically, it is the basic minimalist electric car. It's a smart car without gas. Electric motor, very simple controls, very simple to understand, and I presume very simple to drive.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't require you to do a whole lot of thinking. Basically, you just get in it, turn the key, and away you go.
No need for a PhD in electrical engineering to understand or drive the smart car.
Yeah,
The designers did all the smart stuff,
that's right. Yeah.
so the user doesn't have.
So, care to give us a bit of a rundown on the stats of like what the range is on this car and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, the range it's rated at 140 kilometers per charge. The typical that you'll get in this climate in the wintertime with using the headlights and wipers and heating system is you can get down to about 80 kilometers. But that's probably about as low as you're going to see.
Okay.
And
Cool.
It on a level 2 charge, it takes about 4.5 to 5 hours to recharge. So that's the 220 charger.
Sweet. All right, well, thanks again for your time.
Good.
All right, let's see what they're
Motor
saying.
and drive unit. I take it by a drive unit that's some kind of a transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 2-speed trans. Or a 1-speed trans, actually.
Yeah, forward and reverse, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 400 pound-feet of torque is a lot of torque.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what this...
So I guess you got to be a little careful with this baby, how hard you step on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Actually, we've got a fourth seat. Just a second. Can I open the window here for a sec? Hey, you want to ride along with us?
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
All right.
Squeeze myself into the back.
Yeah.
Might as well all experience the electric car thing.
Yeah.
So 131K is the estimated range. So this is pretty much on a par in terms of range with the smart car.
Yeah.
The Leaf has a little bit more. The Tesla has way more, but then again, that's the Tesla.
Do you expect more out of a Tesla?
Well, you know, go up the market, you want more car for your money, or there's no reason to go up market.
Well, there's always the status symbol idea, but yeah, you do have a point, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There is that. Worshipping the great god status, whose symbols are many. And who drives in the great chariot Rolls Royce, which is practically a god itself.
Yeah, so the Spark is fleet only, so it's not available for retail.
At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
What hoops will you have to jump through? I assume Transport Canada has some hoops for retail certification.
Yeah. Well, it's fleet, so you can sell it if they're a business owner. Have a fleet number from the Government of Canada and ACBC.
But will any modifications have to be made to the vehicle to sell it to individuals?
No.
It's just a question of getting the appropriate bureaucratic clearances in place.
Yeah. I don't know what Fred did to you guys. So.
Oh, he walked us through and explained something about how the propulsion works and you know, what the gauges meant and so forth.
Just out of curiosity, could I get that information? Because I didn't get that with the Chevy Volt because I was filming from the outside last time. Well, just roughly a little bit, like just kind of a general approximation what the gauges are and stuff.
Okay. Can you see that there?
Yeah, I can see clear. I can see fine.
So with the gauges there's the how much battery power is in the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
You also have it on the screen as well.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So it shows you how much battery's there.
Okay.
You also have trip, so how much distance you've gone, and also the average of that distance.
How many kilometers per hour? How many kilowatt hours you've used in a given 100 kilometers?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you also have your how much power you're using and the regen mode as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. And I assume that it's kind of like the Leaf a little bit in the sense that when you brake, it shows negative power as opposed to...
yeah, the same with the Volt. The Volt does that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
The Volt had various driving modes, including one that had particularly high regenerative braking. Does this have the same?
This one has the regenerative high braking, not the different drive modes.
Oh, I see.
Or, this one just does have sport mode, so it gives a little bit more sporty feel.
I see. And the regenerative braking is relatively high. You take your foot off the gas and
it does regen.
Yeah.
Plus, also when you press on the brake, it regens as well.
Okay. Goes to a higher level of regen when you press on the brake, and then only engages the mechanical brakes if you press on the brake hard.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know and important to know, because if you don't know how you're working, you're not going to get the most out of the juice that's in the battery.
Yeah.
So, shall I try it out now?
Yep.
Okay. We'll swap.
Would have been kind of fun if that bird on the road had gotten hit by the bus. I would have actually had a bit for a viral video as well.
I have to sort of bend my head and wiggle a bit.
Yeah.
This is relatively easy. Did I honk the horn?
No, it honks automatically because the key's in the car.
Ah.
Because you close the door in the car,
Right.
it honks.
Just out of curiosity, I've heard that some new electric cars have this feature where with an electric key it's impossible to lock the key inside the car. Is that true?
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
There. Okay. So, now power switch.
Yep.
And it lights up. Foot on the pedals. And reverse, neutral, drive. Okay. Yeah, it feels... one thing about the Volt is that when you put it into low, the regenerative braking became a lot stronger. Is the same true in this?
The same with this.
Okay, so I'm going to put it into low now. That's just taking my foot off the gas. So you could almost drive the thing one-footed in low.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So Fred was navigating for me. He was choosing the route.
Yeah. What we
So
can do
will
is
you do the same?
We can take a left.
Okay, that's what we'll do. I'm quite happy with the position of that mirror. That's a little better. Okay, all clear? Here we go.
We can take a right.
All right. I don't like to do much in the way of, performance testing on a residential street, but a little bit of...
Oh boy, that was fun.
That is impressive. It has some acceleration. And that wasn't putting my foot all the way in it either.
Of course, I'll
tap.
Of course, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that my viewers are going to say that there was no acceleration because you didn't hear a revving. For those of you who are watching, electric cars don't sound like that when they rev.
They just sort of go, whoo. Sounds a bit like warp drive.
Actually, I kind of like that analogy. Thanks.
Yeah, the classic 60s Star Trek TOS warp drive I'm talking. Not the warp drive sound of the Next Generation, which was a little different.
We can take a right.
Okay. Look at that. I only needed to touch the brakes a little at the end. Once again, a little acceleration. I like the speedo. It's a nice, big, easily readable number.
Yeah, it's nice that it's like that because it's right there and you know how fast you're going.
Yeah, it's in your face. No doubt about it. So we're going to get a little highway segment?
Yep.
Excellent. Oh yeah, here we are at the Malahat. Now, of course, we're not going to go as fast as Buddy the idiot on the motorcycle who made that YouTube video.
Oh yeah. Remind us again who he was.
Of course, are not idiots.
Remind us again who he was.
Oh, I can't remember his name. That's why I think of him as Buddy the idiot. But that is floor to the pedal. Not bad. Nice pickup.
Buddy the idiot won his day in court, by the way.
Say what?
Yes, yes, and then got banned from Mexico. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No, the won his day in court thing, that was a tribute to his lawyer, not a tribute to him. It does have very good brakes.
Yeah.
This will get us home. Okay. Right on.
You know, every time we go through a kind of underground parkade like this, I almost expect there's going to be some Russian hitman who's going to come out and put a bullet in my head. So, I watch way too many action movies.
Yeah, I would. That would be a reasonable conclusion. This first spot, yeah, here we are.
And we're back in. Yeah. Thanks again for letting me tag along, guys.
And thank you for the opportunity to drive such an interesting vehicle.
So, I'd like to give special thanks to Doug Prentice here. He's a mechanical engineering technologist from Victoria, British Columbia, here in Universe Sector 0057 Alpha. And currently, he's also been acting as my tech go-to person for evaluating the various green technologies, including electric cars, segways, and very power electric assisted bikes, and very climate change and various other things here. So just out of curiosity, what did you think of this conference today? Do you think that they covered green alternatives fairly well here?
Well, certainly. This refugee from the 19th century is pleased as punch to see the word progress being more meaningful than it has been for a very long time.
One final question. With the definition of the levels of civilization, with a Type 0 being still based on fossil fuels and a Type 1 harnessing the energy that an entire planet has to offer, how soon do you think it might be possible for the humans of this planet to move from a Type 0 to a Type 1 civilization?
Well, if it's a question of commitment, it could be anything as little as 20 years to anything as much as forever.
Okay.
Of course, if the move from a fossil fuel to a sustainable civilization takes longer than about 50 years, it's probable that this species will be extinct shortly after.
All right, well, thanks a bunch. By the way, sorry to you and everyone else here that I have to break the non-exposure directive, but